to have you here because today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a V-tip slot punch so you can make a hammer eye punch, a lot like this one, for making hammers, top tools, everything. So you need to start with a V-tip slot punch so you can make a hammer eye punch just like that. So first I cut a 7.5-inch long piece of 5160 coil spring, and we're going to stick it in the fire. Fire is hot, and we're going to unbend it, get it straight, and then we're going to form a taper. Alrighty, so what we're going to do for the first heat, take about an inch, half on, half off blows, work all four sides. And you want to make a taper. It's quite a lovely way of doing it over the far edge of the anvil. Take another heat. Heat number 2. Clean up that tip. Flatten out the hammer now. Make it a very even, square taper. I'll go back to, quarter inch, 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. At these low temperatures, you can planish very well. Now on the next heat, we are going to take it to an octagon. Work all four sides. Don't want to hit too hard on the tip, otherwise we will create a square to the exact opposite position that we just had. Then work slowly around it with the flat die of the hammer. These low temperatures you can planish very well. Top of the taper's done. Don't be afraid to take another heat. I'll finish off this bottom. Okay, coming out. Just gonna basically give my hammer a little bit of force. You're not trying to give it a ton. Just to planish it all over. Working up the taper. I did make this taper too long, so I'm going to cut it off with a hot cut Hardening. I can nick all the way around it. This is very important. You want to go all the way around it, nick it at a cold temperature so you're not trying to find a center or a line when you're hot, wasting heat. Alrighty, we're hot. And going to just keep tracing around that little nick we made. We want this cut to be to the center. Once you've gotten pretty close, take a pair of tongs, break it off. That way you don't send hot steel flying everywhere. These just happen to be tongs made by Alex Steel. Thank you. I won these tongs on a giveaway he did. They are one lovely pair of tongs. Okay, now that we've got that cut, we are going to flatten one side of this. So it's very important that you have a clean round taper. You want it to be perfectly round, which you'll see when we go to grind this. Okay, now that we're hot, we're going to pick a side that we want to be flat. Then we're gonna run up and down it with the flat guy of the hammer. Turn it over so we get it even. Get a nice, clean taper. Grab a wire brush. Now, one thing you want to avoid is hitting on the sides. Like, you don't want to hit there, because that's going to dent your nice radius that you've just created. So I recommend getting a big wooden mallet like this and then just kind of tapping it. You can get it in the square that way. Okay, now that we're straight, we are going to do a normalizing cycle, and then we're going to quench it. I've seen so many different ways. You can grind it, then quench it. You can quench it, then grind it. I prefer to quench it, then grind it. Then you don't have to turn the forge on. You're not going to ruin the temper on it. So I started with a 7.5-inch piece of steel. Perfect. About 9 inches. So that's what I found is a nice height. Anywhere from 8.5 to 9 inches. See, we're at a nice temperature for normalizing. So I just lock it in a vise, let it cool down, then we'll go ahead and harden it. Okay, we're at a nice heat. Only quench about 3/4 of an inch. This is a really cool way of tempering that I learned from Alex Steele in his online classes. Highly recommend you go take those classes. They are some great classes. So you only, oh boy, I cooled off way too much. That's okay. So you want to have residual heat in it. Then take an old recent disc and scratch it. Then you can watch the temper colors run up to the tip. Now that's all scratched. Colors. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but they slowly run from, red hot heat. They run, purple, dark straw, lighter straw. And just at the tip, we're starting to get to a straw. You want this to be at a dark straw. You want this to be at a dark straw. And so my tip is at a dark straw. So I'm going to cool the tip off. Just the very tip. Then I'm going to put new scratch lines. Quite a lovely way of tempering hand tools. Oh. Put the touch mark in it. And we are at a straw on the tip again. So you do it 2 times just to, bring that hardness down. And then you go ahead and quench the entire thing. This is just vegetable oil, plain old vegetable oil from the grocery store. I've hardened all sorts of steels, and it works great. This tool doesn't necessarily need to be hard. It's just going to be a tool to get you to the next stage of blacksmithing, where you can make a hammer-eye punch. Alright, so is what I'm going to be doing at the grinder. You see that cut to the center is very important. This means we don't have to do much grinding. It's already at its profile. So what I'm going to do is just kind of trace around this. This is a dull 36 grit. It works fine for this kind of stuff. Just make this kind of flat to where if you hit it, it's not going to chip off. And then this, I'm going to hit like on here, at about that angle, and do that on both sides. And go to this side, do the same thing. then up here, or down here on the slack belt, I'm going to just trace around the edges on this to make it perfectly round. So we'll go ahead and do that. Alrighty, that is exactly how to make a V-tip slot punch, so that you can make, which will be in the next video I will make probably tomorrow, how to make this. This is a hammer eye punch. It works great for punching hammers, top fullers, top tools like this. But first, you need to start with a V-tip slot punch like this. I'll get some close-up shots so you can understand what the geometry of this edge is. And then, on the next episode, it'll probably be tomorrow, I will make a hammer eye punch with only a hand hammer, no striker. So it's just you want to get started in blacksmithing. That is the key feature, to have a V-tip slot punch and a hammer eye punch. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.